Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me again today. I've been sitting around the house today and I figured out it's time to start working my core again. I worked my core a lot last spring up until about June when I had my little ordeal in Panama and got locked up, and then I got away from it. I was sick for a little while and then I just got away, and the further you get away, the further you get away. Now what got me interested the last time in core work was I hadn't started doing yoga yet, but I was watching a lot of videos on parkour. You can check that on YouTube if you're not familiar with it. And I wasn't thinking about doing a lot of the acrobatic stuff and jumping from building to building, but I was fascinated by how these guys, it wasn't so much about the six-pack, but how they had control of their body, and all of that control comes from the core. A lot of people don't really know what the core is. It's more than just abs, it's more than just having that six-pack. And for me, I'm really interested in doing it right, because I'm looking at it from a functional standpoint. I really want to get more in. I want to start working on my inversions in yoga, as far as like my handstands and my headstands even first. But all of that stuff comes from the core. So I found I basically went to the source, went to Google, and just put in what is the core to see how I could explain it. And this is the best one I came up with. Your core is a complex series of muscles extending far beyond your abs, including everything besides your arms and legs. It is incorporated in almost every movement of the human body. These muscles can act as an isometric or dynamic stabilizer for movement, transfer force from one extremity to another, or initiate movement itself. So, wait, I had one little thing in here that said, oh, okay. Our core, that's the one I wanted to get to. Our core has three-dimensional depth and functional movement in all three planes of motion. Many of the muscles are hidden beneath the exterior musculature people typically train. The deeper muscles include the transverse abdominals, multifidus, diaphragm, pelvic floor, and many other deeper muscles. Okay, well, I'm starting over from scratch, but I have done it before and I have been doing yoga. Now, I just want to share this with you. If you might want to, as I tell you the ones I'm doing and kind of my beginning routine, adjust it for yourself, depending on what your level is. If you're really starting from the beginning, you might want to take one or two and just play with them and work your way up. Anyhow, I'm going to show you what I'm going to start out by doing, and we'll see how we progress from there. Okay, the first one I'm going to start off with is a variation of what we do in yoga, and it's called the plank. You're going to get just like this and extend your body. Now, the funny thing is you want to engage that core and you want to scoop your tailbone under and down towards your feet. You don't want your butt up in the air and you don't want it sagging. You want it at shoulder level. Now, I'm going to start out with, this is going to be the first exercise, and I won't do it for right now. I'm not going to do the routine because it'll take a while in the video, but I'll basically start out by holding the plank for a minute. That will be the first one. From there, and I'm going to play with the time in between these. I'm going to try to have minimal time between the sets of these. I'm going to go through 5 exercises. I'm going to do minimal time between each one, and then I'll tell you how I'm going to use this routine. The next one is what we call the bicycle, and it looks very much like the bicycle. You lay on your back, legs up like this, and it's just basically elbow to knee, elbow to knee, elbow to knee. As you're not putting your feet down and your shoulders are up, it's keeping it tight on this lower part of the abs, actually on the whole abs the whole time. The boat, now this is something we use in yoga. Now this is actually the half boat. And one thing, you don't want your back slumped when you're doing this. You want your legs, you're going to bring your legs up like this. You're going to keep that back nice and straight. In fact, my back, I'm still working on that in yoga, keeping it straight. And you're just going to hold. Now we do this one in yoga sometime, and probably what I'm going to try to do here is shoot for 10 breaths, just 10 normal deep yoga breaths, or what I call yoga breaths, deep breathing. The next one is Superman, because like you say, your core is a girdle that goes all the way around your midsection. Now this one is working a little bit more on the back. We're straight out like this, and you can do different things. You can do alternate, like your right arm and your left leg, and do lifts, then left arm, right leg, lifts, do these. That might be a little bit more of a beginner, so that might be something you ease into, or you can do both at the same time. But just be careful with your lower back. I do, like I say, I know how to kind of protect my lower back from doing yoga, but you just lift both. Now, like I say, out of all these exercises, I would say be the most careful with this one. And then finally, I really used to enjoy this one. This is called the Russian twist. This is probably about a 10-pound weight right here. Now I've got my legs up off the floor, almost like the bow, and I'm just taking that weight and going from one side to the other. That's getting those obliques. That's getting it. And like that. Now I'm going to see how that works for me and see what the yoga's done for my core and what kind of shape I'm starting off in. I'm going to start by doing those one after another. I'll do the plank, minimum rest, go to the bicycle, minimum rest, go to the boat, half boat, minimum rest, Superman, minimum rest, Russian twist. Now, the one thing you don't want to do, because then it'll put you back where you have to wait for a while and kind of recuperate before you can keep working them, play with it. If you haven't done it before, if you haven't been doing a lot of core work, you know, don't go overboard the first day. I'll do a round of this, a circuit of these exercises, and I'll see how I feel. Now, back when I was working my core a whole lot, you know, I don't know, maybe I'd go through 3 of these. We'll see. But in the beginning, it's probably just going to be one cycle through. I'll see how I feel. Even the first time, you know, it's not going to kill me. Even if it's not enough of a workout, sometimes I'd rather under-workout and not have that just incredibly kill-you soreness than, yeah, I'd rather not work out hard enough on the first time and just figure out, okay, I need to add, do some more until I get to that level instead of overdoing it and then hurting and not being able to do it. Anyhow, I'm going to get on a regular routine of this. Your core, you really should, a lot of people think, you know, core is something, since it's just the abs and whatever, oh, you do this every day. But the last time I was doing core, I did a lot of reading and studying on this. And if any of you know anything about core out there, I'd love to pick up any tips. This is just a starting point. In fact, there was quite a few exercises that I was doing last time that aren't on this list. And as I see how it works and I see how I feel, I'm going to add and mix up the routine from time to time. But I'd say try to shoot for really working the core 2 to 3 times a week, but really working it. You know, like a lot of people, if you go to the gym, a lot of people go to the gym and then the abs or the core is an afterthought. Like you work out the rest of your body or whatever your workout is for that day, and then you just knock out a session of abs at the end, and it's not as intense. But if you really want to work that core and get some functional strength down there, you want to train your core like you're training other muscles. And that's where it all comes from. So anyhow, I hope you enjoyed this video. Give me a thumbs up. If you haven't already, subscribe. And I will let you know how this is progressing as I keep doing it. I'm hoping that this might be the final piece of, you know, really tightening up the stomach there. But anyhow, give it a shout. Tell me what you think. Peace.